Yes, everybody, I have returned, and I am gonna have 5 important questions about the NBA. And the first of I'm gonna ask questions of who's gonna get the last spot in the East, who's gonna be the odd team out in the Western Conference in terms of not making the playoffs. I'm also gonna ask who do I think is the favorite to come out of the West, the East, and who's my pick as of now, as of March 30th, 2014, of who's gonna win the NBA championship. Now, let's go start with the East. Obviously, the battle has come down between the Knicks and the Hawks for the battle of the 8th spot. Hawks still currently hold this by a game and a half. Now, who do I think is going to end up making this? Well, I know the Hawks right now are in free fall mode. They lost 6 in a row, including the most recent loss to the Wizards of Washington, who are now the 6th seed. But who do I think is going to make it? I want to say the Knicks are going to make it, but it's just I know they were on a little run where they won like eight of the last 9 before that demoralizing Laker loss where they lost by like 32. I think they are the more talented team than the Hawks, but I'm looking at the schedules right now, and the Knicks, 8 of their last 9 games, 8 of their next 9 upcoming games, which is the last 9 games of the season, are against playoff teams. The lone one that's not a playoff team is a road game against the Jazz, and even that game can be tough. But I do expect the Knicks to win that one. I don't know if the Knicks just have the ability to overcome the odds and make the playoffs. As for the Hawks, let's see. The next game is against the 76ers, who, congratulations for finally ending your 26-game embarrassing losing streak. I don't know about the storming of the court though. After that, I mean, I guess that's their biggest bright spot since beating the Heat on their opening night. But the Hawks have a really kind of generous, easy schedule. I mean, they had including the Sixers, the Cavs at home, who are kind of struggling, the Pistons, who ended up being the team that gave the Sixers that win that destroyed the losing streak, the Celtics also at home, and then their last game against the season is against on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks, and for some reason that's an ESPN game. I find that kind of disturbing that that's an ESPN game, because considering the Mavericks and Grizzlies also play that night, and that could have more in store than the Hawks and Bucks. I mean, the Mavs Grizzlies in the last game of the season could be for a playoff spot, but I'll get to that in a second. Who do I think is going to end up making it? I think the Hawks make it, but it's only by like 1 or 2 games. And I say that's because of the schedule, and that's really the only reason why I'm giving the Hawks that edge. I think the Knicks have a more talented team, but I do think the Hawks are going to end up making it at the end. Now, next, who do I think is going to be the odd team out? Which team is going to miss the playoffs out of the 5 teams that are like three games within each other for the final spot? So I think Portland's going to make it, so I'm not going to include them. I'll include Golden State, Phoenix, Memphis, and Dallas. In the spots between 60 Golden State and 9th place Dallas is 2 games, and they actually play each other on Tuesday night. Who do I think is going to miss it? Well, I think the Warriors' offense is too dynamic to miss the playoff. I think they're going to be all right. Phoenix, they've been hot lately, 6 in a row, but something about them, I don't. Maybe it's the inexperience. Maybe it's they don't have no permanent superstar. I think their biggest star is Goran Dragic, or I don't know, man. Let's see. And then you got the Memphis Grizzlies, who barely survived the Jazz on the road the other night. Then they lost to Portland, and then they got to play, or no, they lost to Golden State. They play Portland tonight. And then Dallas, who's been inconsistent of late. They look really good. They beat the Thunder one day, and then last night they barely survived the Kings. It's just they could have so many more wins, but it's just late game situations where they blow like leads, like the Clipper game, for example. Like Dallas could have won that one. They lost. Let's see. I know like the last couple games for these 3 teams of Phoenix, Memphis, Dallas, they like play each other. So like I know Dallas plays Phoenix, and then Phoenix plays Memphis, and then Memphis plays Dallas. And I think Phoenix's last game, I think's against the Clippers. I think I had to look it up again. But who do I think is gonna miss? I feel like the Grizzlies have the toughest schedule of the three, and I feel like they don't have the. I mean, their defense is amazing. It's just their offense never seems to be there when they need it. And I know they're 0-3 against Dallas. I know they got to play the Blazers tonight, who are streaking. I know they got a road game against the Spurs soon, who's given them some trouble this season. I know they got to play Phoenix, Dallas. I honestly think Memphis might be the highest chance of missing the playoffs. And then after that, I think I will say Phoenix just due to the inexperience, and I just don't think they have the defense. Well, actually, I know they have the firepower. Maybe the defense, they could probably suffice without it. But I know the Suns have a somewhat of a tough schedule. I mean, I know Dallas will give them a run for their money. Then, of course, Memphis. Oh, okay. Phoenix's last game is against Sacramento. So that should be an easy one, but you never know. Suns upcoming schedule, they got the Lakers tonight, who are awful. And then they got the Clippers, Blazers, Thunder, Pelicans, Spurs, Mavs, Grizzlies, Kings. That's a pretty tough schedule. I think it's either going to be the Grizzlies or the Suns. I just don't think Dirk Nowitzki is going to allow his team to miss the playoffs for a second straight year. Monte Ellis seems to be peaking at the right time. Vince Carter seems to turn back the clock. And I think out of the two who I think will miss it, I'm going to say the Suns. I think something's going to happen. They're going to fall out of it. I think Memphis, from being in the Western Conference Finals last year, I don't think they're going to just miss the playoffs. I mean, they could very well. They have a good chance to, but I think they just sneak in. Now, who do I think is going to be the favorite to come out of the Western Conference? Well, let's see. Spurs are on a huge winning streak, but do I think they'll make? I mean, they were on a huge winning streak 2 years ago before they went to the Western Conference Finals and lost 4 straight to the Thunder to lose the series in 6. The Thunder, I want to say them, but they just haven't been healthy all season long. Now the Clippers, I think they're kind of like my dark horse team right now. I think they seem to be playing very well. They're pretty good on the road. Doc Rivers seems to be knowing what he's doing, which is far better than I could say about Vinny Del Negro when he was controlling the team. I don't think the Rockets are ready yet. Plus, the injury to Patrick Beverley is going to be crucial. Portland, I don't think has enough defense. Their defense is one of the worst in the league. I think they're going to be out probably in the first round. So I think for now I'm going to say the Clippers. Yeah, I'm going to go with Doc Rivers' team. And now for the East, I'm looking at, okay, everyone's saying Indiana, Miami, and Eastern Conference Finals. So I guess I'm going to ask this other question. Is there any other team that could beat one or the other to get in? Well, I do know Brooklyn has played Miami really tough this season. They're 3-0 against them. So I think maybe if Brooklyn draws Miami, I think they could beat them. But I don't know. If Chicago, they've proven that without Derrick Rose, they can't really win a big series. I mean, I guess you can say last year's first round against Brooklyn was big, but when it comes to Indiana, Miami, it just doesn't stack up too well for them. Toronto, they're a good story, but nah. The Wizards, I love John Wall's game. I do, but I don't think he has the right pieces around him to make some kind of a run yet. Bobcats, no. And Hawks or Knicks, whoever gets the A spot, no. So, who do I think is going to come out of the East? I'm going to say the Pacers. I mean, I think the Pacers are ready to knock off the Heat, finally get that revenge. And so, as of right now, as of March 30th, I'm saying it's going to be a Pacers-Clippers final. And I think the Clippers will end up winning it in 6. And that's as of right now. I mean, everything can change in a week's notice. So be sure to tune in. Next time I'll be on here will be when the playoffs start. And it's the same format as I always do. I'm going to try to be a little more consistent about it this year. I mean, college, is a lot of work. So I got to keep on that as well. Can't always be watching basketball. All right, I'll see you guys later.